So in this new serverless era, we're starting to see some common serverless design patterns emerging from the community. So these are tried and tested common patterns that architects are using to compose serverless systems and solve common problems. Let's cover a couple of the major ones. So we call this one compute as backend. So this is a basic use case where Lambda functions serve as a backend for a web or a mobile application. Our client application talks to Lambda functions through Amazon's API gateway. As far as a client is aware, it's talking to a REST interface over HTTP. It doesn't know that there's Lambda functions behind the REST interface, behind the API, and it doesn't need to know. It could be talking to Lambda, it could be talking to an Apache server. The Lambda runtime instantiates required Lambda functions for each request. Security is taken care of at the API gateway level or at each individual function, and the system can handle many simultaneous requests. Every Lambda function connected to the API gateway receives a request, does the required processing, and returns a response to the caller through the API gateway. Every Lambda function can invoke, say, another Lambda function or another service. We have Lambda functions that call out to Firebase running in Google Cloud. It's just custom code. It doesn't have to call out to an AWS service. There's another pattern that we call compute as glue. So here's another scenario with Lambda. Here, Lambda is used as basically glue between different services in the cloud. In this example, we have some storage represented by an S3 bucket, a relational database, a search service, an email sending service, and a push notification service that integrates with Lambda. An event in the S3 bucket, such as maybe a new file being created, kicks off the first Lambda function, which then propagates throughout our system. Everything is push-based and event-driven, and we'll talk more about this later on. A few more interesting patterns that are being used and starting to emerge in the community are the command pattern, the messaging pattern, priority queue pattern, fan-out pattern, and the pipes and filters pattern. If you look at the resources section of this lesson, you'll see a link out to a book called Serverless Architectures on AWS. It's actually written by A Cloud Guru's very own Peter Sparsky, which gives a treatment to these patterns in a lot more depth.